On this episode of Cape Media News, Cotuit Center for the Arts brings back live theater. The grassroots initiative Amplify People of Color promotes racial equity on Cape Cod, and Mattacheese Middle School finds a creative way to promote mask wearing. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Thank you for watching. Well, there's no doubt that fall weather has arrived, and with it, the topic of climate change. In an effort to address this critical issue, the Cape Cod Commission is inviting organizations across the Cape to participate in the Cape Cod Climate Action Plan, a regional planning and policy initiative that addresses both the environmental and economic impacts of climate change on Cape Cod. If interested in participating, organizations are invited to submit a letter of interest at capecodcommission.org. Letters of interest are due by October 1st, 2020. In response to the pandemic, the Center for Coastal Studies Provincetown has transformed its much-celebrated annual Homeport Gala into a series of online fall events. Aptly titled Sea Change 2020, the event will feature a virtual film festival and a 2-week online auction. The event starts on November 15th and runs until November 23rd. To register, visit coastalstudies.org. Well, live theater has once again returned to Cape Cod. The Cotuit Center for the Arts presents A Zoo Story, a one-act dark comedy by American playwright Edward Albee. The free 3-week live outdoor stage run began on September 3rd and will play once more tomorrow night, September 26th at 6:30 p.m. Emily Tulloch reports.
Live and non-virtual theater on Cape Cod is back, and just in time for the fall season. Cotuit Center for the Arts is hosting an outdoor performance of The Zoo Story for 3 weekends in September, and is the first play they've been able to produce since this past winter.
We had scheduled, each play runs 3 weeks, and one of the plays scheduled for the fall was The Zoo Story that we were going to do indoors, and it's a 2-person play that takes place outdoors in a park, and it's basically about a chance meeting between 2 people, and it explores like themes of loneliness, and I won't give it away. It's a 1-act play. It's an hour long, and it's 2 people. So the director came to me and said, is there any way we could do this outside in its natural setting? And because we can be socially distanced, we can keep our audiences safe. So we started talking about it, and we realized a few things that we needed. We installed an outdoor sound system, so the actors are mic'd, but you can literally hear all the way back to where I'm sitting is where the audience goes.
There were many COVID regulations in place for the cast, crew, and audience to ensure the safety of everyone.
The 2 actors have been in a group quarantine together, so the 2 of them are no issue. And there's a mandate on the part of the health department that we keep any performers 25 feet from the patrons. So what the woman who's in charge of our art gallery made, this is our social distancing stick, which is made of pool noodles. So this is sanitized, and a volunteer literally walks around behind me, and then each group of people, as they're seated, we make a circle around. It's very theatrical. And then it's also a visual representation of, okay, this is 6 feet, people. And we require that the audience wears a mask. And then we also, even though it's free, we require reservations because we have to, be able to do contact tracing in that event. And that's how we control the capacity.
Cotuit Center for the Arts hopes theater can bring people together again during a time where many have felt isolated and alone due to quarantine restrictions.
I mean, I think people are so hungry to be together, even if they're distanced and not, really, physically chock-a-block. Like, we in the old days of old, we'd have 200 people in the main theater building sitting shoulder to shoulder. And I think this isolation and all of the stuff that we need to be doing right now, it does take its toll. And I think that the socialization of humans with other humans that are not just the family members or the people that they're with every day is really important.
The style of outdoor performance and a small cast will be the new normal for them until it's safe to resume indoor theater.
The heartbreaking thing is that we're a community arts organization and a community theater where people of all ages come together, to do a thing that they love. And we can't do a big show and a musical with kids, or something like Mary Poppins that we did a few years ago. The idea of getting together and rehearsing is just off the table right now. So it really is these 1 and 2 and 3 person shows. I'm hoping next year we can expand in another area, maybe with a covered tent, a place to do more outdoor programming.
For more information, visit artsonthecape.org. In Cotuit, for Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tellick.
The Cotuit Center for the Arts is inviting guests of tomorrow night's performance to bring blankets or lawn chairs, and wants to remind everyone that since the event is outdoors, to bring a sweatshirt. To get your free tickets for A Zoo Story, visit artsonthecape.org. Up next, Mattacheese Middle School promotes mask wearing.
The world is talking about coronavirus, but it's hard to know what to listen to. We have answers to your questions like, who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65. People with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes. People undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people. Avoid crowds. Stay home if you can. Wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov. Together, we can help stop the spread.
With fall brings the return of school. But for our students, this will be a year unlike any other. Between remote and hybrid learning and new safety regulations requiring the use of masks in the classroom, it's a big adjustment. To help students remember to wear their mask in a fun and relatable way, Mattacheese Middle School's assistant principal Elijah Switzer wrote, rapped, and created a TikTok video called Mask On. We'd like to share that video with you now. Let's watch.
Yo. What's up, Mattacheese? Back to school in a pandemic, while tackling some issues that are systemic. Mask on. Man, put your mask on, mask on. Make sure your mask is on from the hallway to your class. I want you to know that you need a mask. Our students, man, they should be safe. We've worked all summer to prepare this place. Mask on. Man, put your mask on, mask on. Make sure your mask is on. We have a plan, now let's execute. So healthy learning can follow suit. Mask on. Man, put your mask on, mask on. Make sure your mask is on.
Mattacheese Middle School's Mask On TikTok video has been a huge hit with students and families, and has even been featured on a number of news outlets since its debut. In other student-related news, Jonathan Thompson, founder of JT's Chronicles, was recently awarded a $10,000 grant from TD Bank to continue his work spreading positivity on Cape Cod. We spoke with JT to learn more about his plan to give away backpacks to students in need, and about how spreading positivity is its own reward. Cape Media News reports. Mr. Positivity is back at it. Jonathan Thompson, creator of JT's Chronicles, is embarking on his next public service event thanks to a grant from TD Banks, where he'll give out backpacks to kids in need.
It's a back-to-school party event that I wanted to do with We got music. We have athletes coming out. We have motivational speakers. We have we're giving away backpacks. We're giving away all kinds of things for kids. And go right ahead. And just to celebrate kids going back to school and feeling positive about themselves, and just give them that uplifted feeling that they need.
JT was nominated for the competitive grant by a friend who works for TD Bank.
My friend Brienne from TD Bank, and she nominated me, and so I got nominated, and there was like 300 people that got nominated, I guess, across the country, and then they picked 4, and I guess I was in one of the 4, and I started getting phone calls from Canada, and I'm doing interviews over the phone, and I'm like, okay, so they're like, well, you're gonna be in it, you're in the running. I'm like, okay. I'm just like, this is awesome, and I'm just, having a good time and meeting people, and it's like the fact that anybody even acknowledged what I'm doing is absolutely awesome, and I love it, and I appreciate that.
The backpacks will be given out at a fun event DJ'd by his friend, DJ Angel, to get the kids excited and motivated to return back to school with all the supplies they need.
TD Bank gave me a bus full of backpacks and supplies. So we're looking at divvying them up between a couple of schools. And so I'm talking to schools right now to see how we can do it. We'll probably make it kind of like, how you have a curbside pickup for your food? Yeah. Probably do it like that and have a curbside. So the schools will let us know. They're going to notify some families that they know, could actually use some help. And we'll do that. Angel and I will be out there. We'll have some music playing, pull up, get your bag, keep going, keep motivated. And they'll get some extra little treats along with it. So that's what we want to do. So we're just waiting for them to give us the clearance because we're going to make everything happen.
Nauset, Cape Cod Tech, Barnstable, and Yarmouth, schools where JT has brought his message of positivity before, will be the first recipients of the project.
We'll go into DY, Nauset, Cape Tech. So the schools that I spoke at, with the motivational speaking, we're going to start with there, and whatever we have left over, then we'll divvy up more, but we're going to have another backpack drive and some other special things that happen.
For Jonathan, spreading positivity is its own reward.
It just kind of keeps going, man. I'm just blessed, and I just felt good, and I knew things were going to keep happening because it's just, you do because you want to do, not because you expect anything.
To learn more about JT's Chronicles, find him on Facebook and Instagram. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Jonathan Thompson has held several backpack giveaway events since we last spoke with him. And in even better news, the event has grown through a partnership with the Family Table Collaborative to include not just backpacks and music, but also hot, fresh, delicious meals. To learn more about JT's Chronicles or the Family Table Collaborative, find them on Facebook. Up next, meet Tara Vargas Wallace, founder of Amplify POC Cape Cod.
People in Massachusetts are asking what they can do to help stop the spread of the virus. Our response? Answer the call.
Hello? Thanks for calling. I've been worried.
Thanks. Now I know what to do.
Through what's called contact tracing, the MA COVID team will be reaching out to everyone who's tested positive for coronavirus or who has been exposed. Look out for area codes 833 or 857 and answer the call to keep your community safe. Visit mass.gov/MA Tracing Team.
Welcome back to Cape Media News. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. If you're looking for ways to support racial justice and equity on Cape Cod, a new grassroots initiative called Amplify POC may be a good place to start. Founded by local resident Tara Vargas Wallace, Amplify POC aims to enhance the visibility of businesses owned by people of color by providing a one-stop shop website people can visit to locate Black-owned businesses on Cape Cod. Emily Tulloch reports.
Hello, I'm Emily Tulloch, and you're watching Cape Media News. Today's guest is Tara Vargas Wallace, founder and executive director of Amplify POC Cape Cod. Thank you for joining us today, Tara.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Can you tell us what Amplify POC Cape Cod is and what your vision is for this initiative?
Amplify POC Cape Cod. First, I just need to explain the acronym. So POC stands for People of Color. And the initiative was initially just going to be an online platform to provide businesses owned by people of color a way to advertise their businesses for free so that patrons can support their businesses in light of everything that's going on with racial justice and people who want to help support racial justice and help reduce the wealth gap caused by systemic racism. I just want to add, the vision has grown more. So the vision is now, not only do we have this website, this fabulous website that promotes the businesses, but we're also going to be promoting more entrepreneurs. So we want to be able to offer, opportunities for growth and advancement to people of color in our community. So these are things that we're working on with, we're building partnerships with local organizations out in the community who are already doing this work. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Why, especially given our current climate, is it important to have an initiative like Amplify POC Cape Cod? You had mentioned the wage gap and racial equity. So can you speak a little bit more about that?
One of the things that I had found was, after the George Floyd murder, a lot of people had reached out to me and was wondering how they can support Black-owned businesses or how they can support people of color in general. And the biggest question was Black-owned businesses. And, I had done some research and was looking around to see if we had like one general area where there was some kind of a list for Black-owned businesses, and we didn't have one for Cape Cod. And so I had been in contact with John Reed, who's our, I'm on the board of the NAACP, and he's our leader and president. One of the things that he pointed out, which was very helpful to me in this whole initiative, was he said, because of the dynamics on the Cape, we can't really call it a Black-owned business list. There just aren't enough Black-owned businesses. He said it's important that we call it people of color, or POC. And so, because there's just more people of color on the Cape. And so for me, it was important that as long as that I was amplifying, all of the marginalized groups of people that needed amplification, it was important that I did that. So that was okay. So I switched it from Black-owned business to POC-owned businesses. So that's really important to just know. After compiling this list and getting all the information that I had gotten, I started to do a lot of research on the wealth gap. And what I learned was that white households are 10 times wealthier than Black households and 8 times wealthier than Latinx households. And so those are some huge gaps. And so I started to read and do a lot of research on the wealth gap. And, it traces all the way back 400 years to systemic racism. And although I know that we can't possibly fix 400 years of systemic racism in my lifetime, I think that we definitely need to start somewhere.
So have you received any negative pushback, perhaps from people saying there isn't a wage gap or racial equity for people of color on Cape Cod? And if so, what do you say to these people?
Well, actually, I have not received any negative pushback. It's been very positive from the community. But my response to that would be, do your research, because, this traces back 400 years, like I was talking about before. So this is a very real thing.
If our viewers want to get involved, they want to support the initiative, how can they support this, and what opportunities are available, and what's the best way to contact you?
We have a website, AmplifyPOCCapeCod.com. I just want to say the website is live, but we are still updating it. We're still adding logos. I want to make a huge note that Cape Cod Cooperative, or the Cooperative Bank of Cape Cod, my apology, they're our largest sponsors. So I just want to, thank them for that. Thank you to all of our sponsors and donors. We couldn't have done this without you. So thank you. This was great. Thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. For Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tellick.
As part of their vision, Amplify POC hopes to reduce the wealth gap caused by systemic racism and promote economic power and sustainability on Cape Cod. To learn more about Amplify POC, visit AmplifyPOCCapeCod.com. Well, that brings this episode of Cape Media News to a close. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.